The US dollar index just hit a 4-month low at 97.1, marking its worst performance since 2017. Gold smashed through 5,000 per ounce to record highs. Yet, Bitcoin is dumping hard, down from $90,400 to $70,000 in days. This breaks every macro playbook. Historically, when the dollar weakens, Bitcoin should rally. So, what's actually going on? Today, we're breaking down the 5 forces destroying Bitcoin's traditional correlation with the dollar and revealing when this relationship might finally restore itself. My name is Lewis, and you're watching the Coin Bureau. Now, for years, Bitcoin and the DXY moved in opposite directions with a negative 0.65 correlation, a reliable inverse relationship. When the dollar strengthened to 114 in Q4 2022, during the Fed rate hikes, Bitcoin crashed from 47,000 to 16,000. When DXY fell in late 2023, Bitcoin rocketed past $40,000. The math was simple: weak dollar equals strong Bitcoin. But since mid-2024, this relationship has fractured completely. The dollar is now down 1.5% in January 2026, breaking below 97 to hit levels not seen since February of 2022. Yet, Bitcoin refuses to rally. In fact, it's doing the opposite, falling from above $90,000 to current levels around $70,000, maybe lower by the time that you watch this video. And this isn't just a blip. The 90-day correlation coefficient, which historically sat at negative 0.70, has broken down entirely. Bitcoin is now moving with tech stocks, not against the dollar. The 30-day correlation between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq has hit 0.80, the highest level in nearly 4 years. So, Bitcoin has gone from being digital gold to being a risk-on tech asset, and that creates a very different investment thesis. Now, here's the twist that most investors are missing. A weak dollar doesn't automatically mean more money in the system. Put simply, there's a massive difference between dollar weakness and actual liquidity expansion. The euro-dollar market, offshore dollar-denominated deposits, controls global liquidity beyond the Fed's reach. This market is estimated at $16 trillion, more than double what it was in 2008. When the DXY falls due to yen intervention or currency rebalancing rather than Fed easing, actual liquidity doesn't expand. It's a liquidity mirage. Michael Howell, founder of Cross-Border Capital, has been tracking this phenomenon with his Global Liquidity Index. According to Howell's data, global liquidity peaked in late 2025 at around $187 trillion. But here's the kicker. The momentum has stalled. Howell's model suggests the liquidity cycle is hitting its peak around Q1 to Q2 2026, likely in March. After that, he expects a downturn as the massive debt refinancing wall begins to drain capital. So even though the dollar is weak, liquidity conditions are tightening. This explains why Bitcoin isn't rallying. There's no actual new money flowing back into risk assets. The Fed ended quantitative tightening in December of 2025 and started buying $40 billion in treasury bills monthly. But this is just maintaining liquidity, not expanding it. Meanwhile, the euro-dollar system creates and destroys liquidity through bank balance sheet expansion and contraction, processes that are completely independent of the dollar's exchange rate. This is why dollar weakness alone isn't really enough. Markets are treating Bitcoin as a risk asset, not digital gold, and the evidence is overwhelming. When uncertainty spikes, trade wars, geopolitical tensions, Trump's tariff threats, investors flee to traditional safe havens. Gold ETFs saw record inflows in 2025, with $89 billion globally, the strongest year ever. Central banks added 863 tons of gold in 2025, with purchases remaining elevated at 220 tons in Q3 alone. China has been buying gold every single month while simultaneously selling US treasuries. In fact, Chinese treasury holdings dropped to $682.6 billion in November of 2025, the lowest since September of 2008. Meanwhile, China's gold reserves increased to 2,306 tons, valued at over $310 billion. And Bitcoin, well, it's getting sold alongside tech stocks. During recent geopolitical flare-ups, Bitcoin lost 6.6%, while gold rose 8.6%. The BTC to gold ratio hit 17.6 in early 2026, recently touching as low as 15.5, the lowest in recent history. For comparison, gold gained 65% in 2025, while Bitcoin declined 6%. This completely inverts the digital gold narrative. And if you've been following the channel, well, you know that this creates a massive opportunity cost problem for Bitcoin holders. And by the way, if you're trying to navigate these complex macro crosscurrents, you need to stay informed beyond just the price charts. So why not subscribe to the Coin Bureau Telegram channel? There, we'll keep you posted with breaking crypto news and deep dive alpha on what's actually moving the markets. To check it out, just click the link in the description or scan this QR code. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The real liquidity drain isn't just about Fed policy or euro dollars. It's about the largest debt refinancing event in modern history. You see, there's $9 to $10 trillion in US government debt maturing in 2026, roughly 1/3 of all outstanding debt. This creates a massive refinancing wall that sucks capital from risk assets. Corporate debt maturities are spiking to roughly $3 trillion in 2026, up from $2 trillion in 2024. That's a 50% increase. Companies that borrowed at 2 to 3% in 2020 and 2021, well, they now face refinancing at up to 5 to 7%. For a company with $100 million in debt at 3%, annual interest is $3 million. Refinancing at 6% doubles the interest cost to $6 million, reducing earnings by $3 million annually without any operational changes. And this is already showing up in bankruptcy data. 2025 saw an 81% increase in mega bankruptcies compared to the long-term average. Saks Global filed for Chapter 11 in January 2026 after missing a $100 million debt payment. The company had borrowed $2.7 billion to fund its merger, debt it simply couldn't refinance. Meanwhile, commercial real estate is facing over $1.5 trillion in maturities through 2026 and 2027. Office sector CMBS loans totaling $21.3 billion are coming due through 2026. This means many borrowers now face refinancing rates double or even triple what they secured years ago. This isn't theoretical. This is happening right now. And every dollar that goes to refinancing existing debt is a dollar that doesn't flow into Bitcoin or other risk assets. Michael Howell warns that this $40 trillion global debt rollover by 2027 creates unprecedented refinancing stress. He calls it the most significant threat to markets in the 2026 to 2027 window. Meanwhile, Japan and China are reshaping global liquidity flows in ways that directly impact Bitcoin. The yen carry trade unwind, for example, where investors borrowed cheap yen to buy riskier assets, is reversing. In December 2025, the Bank of Japan raised its policy rate to 0.75%, the highest rate since 1995. Markets are pricing in another hike potentially by June 2026. When the BOJ raised rates in December, Bitcoin dropped from 91,000 to 88,500 within 2 hours, a 2.8% decline that accelerated as over-leveraged positions hit stop losses. The yen carry trade size is estimated to be between $261 billion and $500 billion. When this unwinds, it creates margin calls that don't discriminate. Bitcoin gets sold alongside with everything else. Japanese officials have warned against one-sided and sharp currency moves, threatening intervention. In the 158 to 160 region, we're moving into intervention territory where the BOJ sold around $100 billion in summer of 2024. And China's moves are equally significant. China has sold US Treasuries for 9 consecutive months, pushing holdings to the lowest levels since 2008. This represents a decline of more than 47% from the peak of $1.32 trillion in November of 2013. Now, where is all of that capital going? Well, gold. The People's Bank of China announced gold purchases for 14 consecutive months through December of 2025. These aren't retail flows. These are strategic, calculated moves by the world's second largest economy. And these currency moves drain dollar liquidity that previously flowed into crypto, creating cross-border capital flight away from risk assets. So, when will the correlation return? Well, there are 4 key thresholds to watch. First, Fed rate cuts below 3%. Current rates sit at 3.5 to 3.75%. Markets are pricing in 2 cuts in 2026, potentially 1 in June and 1 in October. But the critical level is below 3%. That's when actual liquidity expansion outpaces just dollar weakness. Second, global liquidity expansion resuming after the 2026 refinancing crisis passes. Howell's model suggests liquidity will trough in Q1 to Q2 2026, likely around March. After that, if central banks respond with more aggressive easing, well, we could see liquidity begin expanding again in late Q3 or Q4 2026. Third, Bitcoin breaking above $94,253 resistance. That's the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. A decisive break above this level, confirmed by breaking 99,000 to 102,000, would signal technical momentum restoration. The $107,400 level represents a critical midpoint before attempting all-time highs. Fourth, DXY falling below 96.2 on a sustained weekly close. Current levels are around 97.4. But a break below 96 would trigger significant technical selling pressure. Historical seasonality suggests April to May as a potential inflection period for dollar weakness. The pivot point comes when liquidity expansion outpaces refinancing demands. That's when Bitcoin decouples from risk-off sentiment and reclaims its inverse dollar relationship. Most analysts, including Howell, place this potential turn in Q2 to Q3 of 2026. But before you get too excited, remember that these conditions need to align simultaneously. One or two isn't enough. You need all four: Fed cutting below 3%, liquidity expanding, Bitcoin breaking resistance, and the dollar breaking support. So then, what does this all mean? Well, the dollar death doesn't equal Bitcoin moon. Not quite yet. It's about liquidity, not just currency weakness. The 2026 refinancing wall is draining capital, while gold captures safe haven flows. Bitcoin's correlation with the dollar has broken because Bitcoin is being treated as a risk-on asset, not digital gold. Understanding these macro forces is key to surviving this chop. The good news, though, is that the catalysts for reversal are on the horizon. Q2 to Q3 2026 could mark the turning point when actual liquidity expansion resumes. But until then, patience is required. Don't fight the macro tape. Stay patient. Watch those four key indicators: Fed rates, global liquidity, Bitcoin resistance, and DXY support. And most importantly, understand that sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. The setup will present itself when liquidity conditions improve. Now though, we want to hear from you. Are you rotating into gold, or are you using this dip to stack more sats? Do you think that Bitcoin will reclaim its digital gold narrative, or has it just permanently become a tech stock? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to understand more about how the debt refinancing wall is reshaping markets, well, you can check out that video right over here. And if you're wondering whether gold's rally can continue, well, we covered that in depth right over here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. This is Lewis, signing off.